And when I saw that, it's like, Tiffany, if you had a husband like mine, you may not have 2 DUIs. If you had a husband like mine, you may not be caught up.
It looks like there's new beef on the block because Tiffany Haddish just took shots at Monique for dissing her, and she's letting her know she wants all the smoke. Didn't know Monique went on Club Shay Shay and had a lot to say about people who have wronged her, including Tiffany, who a few years ago allegedly threw some shade at Monique's husband. Y'all, it looks like Tiffany Haddish's 2018 comments about fellow comedian Monique in a GQ interview have come back to bite her. Monique is hitting back at Tiffany 6 years after she hinted that Monique's husband was living off of her.
But when you speak about having a husband like mine, you open up the door. And I'm saying to you,
according to ET Online, Tiffany told a reporter during an interview for GQ, "My business run different than her business. I don't live her life. I don't have that husband of hers. I'm looking at how Netflix has opened up so many opportunities for black females in comedy." Tiffany didn't stop there though. "When my people are dying, that's when you're going to catch me protesting. I'm not going to protest because somebody got offered not the amount of money they wanted to get offered," she added to GQ. "If you don't like what they're offering you, just no longer do business with them. If I protest Netflix, what about all the black shows that are on there? What about all the other actors that are working on there?" That in response to a question about Monique's call to boycott Netflix over its treatment of black female creatives. It got so bad that Monique even filed a lawsuit against Netflix for discrimination. According to ET Online, Monique filed a lawsuit claiming racial and gender discrimination. She alleged that Netflix reportedly offered or paid Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Ellen DeGeneres, and Ricky Gervais 40 times more per show than it offered Monique, and it offered Amy Schumer 26 times more per show than Monique, the lawsuit alleged. Adding, "In short, Netflix's offer to Monique perpetuates the drastic wage gap forced upon black women in the American workforce." Well, when Tiffany, who's also a female comedian who had been offered a show, was asked about the lawsuit, she said she had no problems with what Netflix had offered her, adding that Netflix had opened doors for comedians like her to have a platform. The statement can be interpreted in different ways, but one way that fans speculated Monique interpreted it was, there aren't that many black female comedians whom Netflix had offered shows on their platform, so for Tiffany, who's one of the few to back up Netflix, was a little snaky, and speaking on Monique's husband didn't help matters. Although it took 6 years, Monique finally responded to Tiffany's statement, letting her know she was not afraid of some smoke. In an interview with Shannon Sharp of Club Shay Shay, Monique said she was confused by what she framed as indirect insults about her and her husband, Sidney Hicks.
She said, "Well, I don't do business like Monique do business, and I'm glad I don't have that husband of hers." And when I saw that, it's like, Tiffany, if you had a husband like mine, you may not have 2 DUIs.
And she wasn't about to let anybody speak on her husband, so she came correct for Tiffany, dragging her for filth and pointing out how Tiffany doesn't even have a man who would keep her from getting into all the trouble she'd gotten into lately.
If you had one like mine, you may not sit in these positions that you can't explain the next day.
Well, it looks like Tiffany heard Monique's comments about her and she was not having it. She clapped back at Monique, saying she didn't know Monique had been spending all her time thinking of how to get back at her.
Well, I've been doing comedy shows and I've been resting and catching up with friends, so.
I saw that you were doing a comedy show, so how was it?
It was fun.
During the Super Bowl weekend, Tiffany had a chat with an Entertainment Tonight reporter at the Fanatic Super Bowl party. Tiffany was asked what she'd been up to and was also asked to comment on what's been happening in the comedy space regarding the discourse about fellow comedians online, such as Cat Williams, D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey, and more. But when she was asked to comment specifically on what Monique had said about her, Tiffany didn't hold back. She went in on Monique, saying she respected her and looked up to her as an auntie in the game and didn't expect her to do something like that.
I have no idea, but I am grateful and thankful that I am on the minds of people I look up to. That's
so awesome. You look up to her. So was it disappointing? I was going to say, was it disappointing hearing her talk about it?
Tiffany then allegedly threw some shade at Monique for telling the whole world she had a problem with what said in that interview, instead of coming directly to her and telling. According to Tiffany, if she had a problem with anyone, she let them know up front.
I'd rather not do anything behind anybody's back. I'd rather do it to your face. Ooh. Yeah, I come from the 1900s. We talk to your face.
Yes, you do.
If I got a problem with you, I'll tell you to your face.
That's why I love you, Tiffany.
I'm 100 with it.
Listen, the fans have been into the beef, with many of them saying Monique ate Tiffany up with her clapback. Like this fan who said, "But nah, when Monique said if she had a husband like mine, she wouldn't have all those DUIs," in response to Tiffany Haddish's comments about not wanting a husband like hers. I gag. Let's be real. Tiffany doesn't have enough of a dang career to even step to Mo. Don't even poke your toe out, girl. You ruined your career before it could even start, another fan added.